Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, a final vote on COVID relief happens today. What that means for your stimulus payments. And we'll take a look at what else is in that bill. A lot, according to Republicans, that has nothing to do with the pandemic. Here at home, a shot spotter alert overnight leads to the discovery of a man lying in a parking lot in southeast Bakersfield. The victim pronounced dead. We'll have the latest on the investigation.
He's face up on the bottom of the pool, eyes wide open, and I could tell he's not moving.
A Bakersfield police officer remembers the day he pulled a lifeless landscaper from the bottom of a pool, saving his life. That harrowing story on this Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. And good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen, anchoring from here at home in Tehachapi. Alex Fisher in studio. Here in Tehachapi, the snow has just begun to fall. I've stepped out on my deck. You can see we've got some big fluffy flakes falling out of the sky right now. Overnight dry, but that storm, it seems like, is finally moving in, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. It is starting to rain here in Bakersfield. One thing I'm noticing, though, about those snowflakes, Maddie, they're pretty big as they fall across Tehachapi. And we have a live report from the Grapevine in just a moment. Kevin, though, is tracking this storm for us as it moves into our area. He talked about it yesterday, said it was coming, and sure enough, here it is. Kev?
Good morning, Alex. Yeah, when we talk about those big flakes, the reason they're bigger is because we've got warmer air mass. So the colder the air, the smaller the snowflakes. And when we're right on that edge of rain and snow, the snowflakes are a little bit bigger and a little bit wetter as well. Let's show you the satellite and radar right now. And as we go throughout the day, these are going to be coming in as showers. And we're going to see a little bit of instability with this as well because of the cold core of this low. So I'm not going to rule out the chance of thunderstorms in your forecast today as well. And you can see the snow is falling up near Frazier Park and also Tehachapi, but right now I-5 over the Grapevine is open with no delays, and that is the same for the 58, and we'll keep a close eye on that this morning. Here's downtown Bakersfield, and yes, it is wet. I picked up 1/100 of an inch out at my house here on the west side. We've got the same into our studios, and we've just got a trace out at Meadows Field so far, 46 degrees with a north wind at 9, and as we go throughout today, we're going to look for some clouds, we're going to look for some showers, so it's going to be kind of an off and on type of day with this system. Here's a look at Frazier Park, and the snow had just started falling in the last hour or so. And then Tehachapi, this is what it looks like right now. And you notice that it's not sticking on the ground, at least on the pavement. It's because of our temperature right now. We're right on that edge, bring in the current conditions, 34 degrees. So with that 34 degrees, we get those big wet flakes, a wind out of the west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. And you can see our hour-by-hour forecast is calling for the snow showers and maybe even switching over to rain a little bit throughout the day as well. So it is going to be a very busy day for Kern County with this system, and it's going to linger in some areas possibly through early Friday morning. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. And as always with winter storms, there's a concern about the roadways, especially over our local passes. So let's check in with Ileana Capian. She joins us live from the Grapevine. Good morning, Ileana. How does it look out there?
Good morning, Alex. Well, as you can, I'm sure, tell, my hair is completely covered in snow, and I've only been out here a couple of minutes. It is coming down, and it is thick. So before you hit the roads, make sure you are giving yourself enough time to be out there and be safe. Right now, as we mentioned, it is coming down and it's thick. Even us driving in, you can check out the road conditions right now, but driving in, the snow was thick and obscuring our view. Here's a view of the traffic right now. We did see CHP a little bit earlier begin pacing the traffic out. It's a busy day out here, a busy morning out here on the roads. Just make sure if you are getting yourself and you're getting ready to head out, you take the time you need and prepare to get out on these roads because as we said, it's busy. We are on the Tejon overpass. This is the 5 freeway southbound traffic. And as I'm looking over the other side, I begin to see traffic slowing down. There's a lot of red lights, and I can understand why. If you take a look right here, we have been out here. I'm not sure when exactly the snow started, but there's already at least a couple of inches of snow. I don't know if you can see how deep that hole is right there, but it is coming down. The storm is definitely here, as Kevin was saying earlier. For now, that's all for me out here at the Tejon Pass. 17 News, Ileana Capian.
Ileana, taking a look behind you at the traffic, is traffic slowly moving? I saw a CHP car on the, looked like the northbound lanes. What is it? Is that at least slow going at this hour?
Yeah, we are starting to see a lot of a slowdown right now. We're seeing a lot of red lights and a lot of slowing down. For a while there, traffic looked like it was completely stopped. I believe that was just to give CHP a chance to get ahead of the traffic and start pacing. Because at this point, we're seeing a lot of lights, a lot of slowing down, Alex.
All right, Ileana, thanks so much. We'll check back in with you in about 30 minutes. A man was killed in a shooting last night in southeast Bakersfield, marking the county's 20th homicide this year. Here's a look at the scene. According to BPD, the department got a shot spotter alert around 9 o'clock last night in the 1400 block of East 9th Street near Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Officers responded and found a man lying in a parking lot with major wounds. He was taken to Kern Medical, where he died. BPD says at this time there is no suspect information. Anyone with information is asked to call BPD at 327-7111. A Bakersfield City fire station is the latest target of vandals. According to BPD, it happened Sunday night at the Fire Station 8 on University Avenue. 26-year-old Peter Kennedy was using rocks to break several windows at the station. Firefighters were able to hold Kennedy until police arrived. BPD says he caused roughly $5,000 in damage. Kennedy was booked into jail on felony vandalism. It has now been 79 days since Orrin and Orson West were first reported missing from their home in California City. And as the search continues here at home, this story is having a wider reach than just the Southern Valley. Our sister station in Wichita, Kansas sent us this video of new billboards popping up around the city. The billboards were purchased by the Warriors for Children organization. Warriors for Children is an organization of YouTubers and people that have followed cases trying to help children throughout the country who are victims of injustice. The organization has also helped with search efforts in Bakersfield, sending $500 to a local billboard company to put up a sign here. Bakersfield police are leading the investigation into the missing boys case. If you have any information, you're asked to call BPD or the secret witness line at 322-4040. From our 17 follow-up file, last week we told you about a Bakersfield police officer who saved a landscaper's life after he was found at the bottom of the pool by his co-workers. 17's Ileana Capian sat down with the officer to talk about that harrowing day.
When he's in uniform and on duty, Lieutenant Christopher Knutson knows saving lives is part of the job description. But last week, his off-duty Wednesday morning took a dive for the worst.
I hear a bunch of banging at my front door and ringing the doorbell frantically. So I run over to the front door. I open the door, and it's one of the landscapers, and he tells me, mi amigo in the pool. So immediately, my heart drops.
Knutson says adrenaline immediately took over his body as he ran out to his pool, jumped over the safety fence, and dove into the 8-foot-deep cold water to save the landscaper, who still had his leaf blower attached to his body, weighing him down.
He's face up on the bottom of the pool, eyes wide open, and I could tell he's not moving. He's no longer in distress, and I'm thinking the worst at that point. So I get the leaf blower off of his back. I swim him up to the top. I push him up onto the top of the deck. I climb out. I check him. He's not breathing. He has no pulse, so I immediately start CPR.
It has been reported that it takes less than 60 seconds or inhaling less than half a cup of water for an adult to drown. As a first responder, Lieutenant Knutson is CPR trained, which helped him resuscitate the landscaper.
It happened so fast that it was kind of surreal. And after about a minute, he started spitting up water coming out of his mouth. A lot of water was coming out of his nose. I checked him again, and then he had a pulse. And then he took a big gasp of air, And that's when I realized, I'm like, I think this guy's going to be okay.
When the paramedics arrived on scene, they took over care and transported the landscaper to a local hospital.
Now he's doing great. I spoke to his brother-in-law a couple days ago, and his brother-in-law said he's doing great.
17 News reached out to the landscaper, and his brother-in-law said this.
He thanks God he's good and he's working again. Of course, he's a little scared and he's not 100%, but he's a little better, especially after going to the hospital. He's better.
The landscaper was back to work less than a week after his traumatic accident. His brother-in-law says the landscaper is a little scared, but doing better since he went to the hospital for care. They are just thankful to Lieutenant Knutson and God that he has another opportunity at life.
Thank God who just gave him another opportunity. Now we move forward, continue working. That's all that's left for us in this country.
It was just merely by chance that I happened to be there at that time. It was literally a right place, right time story. It was so surreal in the moment that you don't really think that I'm saving this man's life. I'm just doing what I need to do.
17's Ileana Capian reporting. Welcome back. Your time now is 5:22, and Governor Gavin Newsom delivered his third State of the State address last night, where he reflected on the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. He also defended some of his decision-making as a recall effort against him looms. 17's Ashley Zavala is in our Capitol Bureau with more.
I know our progress hasn't always felt fast enough. And look, we've made mistakes. I have made mistakes.
In his shortest State of the State as governor, Gavin Newsom defended his administration's decision-making and reflected on the state's response to the deadly pandemic. He recapped the state's effort to provide financial relief to struggling businesses and workers, a push to reopen schools, and the effort to distribute vaccines, which has now provided 11 million shots to people across California. As the pandemic exposed the inequalities across the state, he promised to make California more equitable moving forward.
I remain determined.
In his speech, the governor did not mention the recall effort against him by name, but he did say he would not change course because of a few naysayers or doomsdayers.
So to the California critics out there who are promoting partisan political power grabs with outdated prejudices and rejecting everything that makes California truly great, we say this. We will not be distracted from getting shots in arms and our economy booming again.
Some Republican lawmakers criticized the governor for looking back and not ahead, including Senate Republican leader Scott Wilk.
That California under Governor Newsom is a state of disrepair, and I believe that we can do better.
In Sacramento, Ashley Zavala, 17 News.
To watch the governor's address in its entirety, you can just head to our website, kget.com. And there you can also see reaction from our local lawmakers.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back here at 526 in your 17 Business Watch. The pandemic has made workplace flexibility more of a reality for some workers. But for many women, especially working moms, balancing home life and work life can be challenging. According to CNBC and SurveyMonkey's survey, 65% of working women believe the pandemic has made things worse for women at work. More than half of those surveyed said they feel burned out at least some of the time, and more than a third said they've thought about quitting their job over the past year. More than a third of women with children under 18 say difficulty balancing work and family obligations are the main reasons they're getting burned out.
And as Kev mentioned, snow is falling over the Grapevine, and that's where we find 17's Ileana Capian. She is live at the base talking about our road conditions out there on the Grapevine. Ileana, how does it look out there right now?
Hey, Alex. Well, as you can tell, it is definitely slowed down a little bit. It's not snowing as hard as it was earlier at the top of the hour, but now we're looking at the road conditions. If you can take a look at that right now, the roadways are also seen. They've cleared up a little bit. The trucks are moving. The semis are moving through a little bit smoother. However, on the other side of the freeway, we do have a slowdown going on. I see CHP. Maybe they'll make their way under the bridge here in a couple of seconds. They are starting to pace traffic. As we mentioned, here they come. We see CHP coming down the road and traffic following them. So pacing has begun, although the snow has lessened. Thank goodness there's a little bit of a break right now going on, so we're seeing a lot more of traffic flowing through, and as we mentioned, that pacing that's happening right behind me. That's it for now. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, conditions are ever changing. We'll check back in with you in just a few minutes. In Washington, a final vote on coronavirus relief is happening today, and that means your stimulus payment could be on the way soon. Tracy Potts has more.
Hi there, Alex. Good morning, everyone. The vote's set to happen today with the president signing off by the end of the week. And then those payments will roll out soon after. It's a big legislative victory for President Biden, less than 2 months in office. But Republicans say this money, the $1.9 trillion, will plunge the country further into unnecessary debt.
I'm so excited, I just can't hide it.
Democrats are on the verge of handing President Biden his first legislative victory today, a $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill that includes billions for states, local governments, schools, vaccines, and small businesses.
Giving people who, in fact, weren't able to get in line before.
Plus, $1,400 payments to low and middle income Americans and up to $300 more a month for each child.
Once the rescue plan is signed, we'll be able to start getting payments out this month.
I would be able to pay rent or at least have a little cushion.
It would actually pay for some food supplies I need.
Democrats have the votes to make it happen. President Biden hopes to sign off this week with no Republican support expected.
We know that the result of that package is going to be middle-class tax increases.
Mountains of debt that are focused not on COVID relief.
Today, the president meets with the CEOs of drug makers Merck and Johnson & Johnson.
When we say 100 million doses by June, that means 100 million vaccinations, patients that will have been treated. So we're excited.
The rival companies are working together to speed up production of the new one-dose COVID vaccine. As of today, about 10% of the country is fully vaccinated. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
136 new cases of coronavirus were reported yesterday. We're seeing an average of about 150 positive tests every day. We haven't been that low in 4 months. Yesterday was also the third straight day with no new deaths reported. Those numbers bring the county's totals to more than 104,000 people testing positive for COVID-19 and 942 people losing their lives. State data shows 120 people are in the hospital, 32 are in the ICU.
In the meantime, we're learning more about how many people here in Kern County have been vaccinated against COVID-19 so far. It's evident we have a long way to go before a majority of our population gets that shot. Public Health says nearly 48,000 people in Kern County have received their second dose. That's the bar highlighted in green. Therefore, only 5% of the population is considered vaccinated from the virus. Meantime, the blue bar highlights the 65,000 people in Kern who've gotten their first dose. That leaves the rest of the population waiting their turn for the shot. A game changer could be coming soon. Public Health says the first shipments of the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine could arrive later this week. Since it's a one-dose shot, more people will become fully vaccinated with that one, with the first shot. A reminder, anyone over the age of 65, those in the healthcare industry, educators, and food and ag workers are currently eligible to get the vaccine. If you're in one of those eligible groups, you can sign up for a vaccine appointment on the state's website, myturn.ca.gov. You can call 833-422-4255 to schedule an appointment, or you can go online to kernpublichealth.com.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.